When is a surgical perforation considered malpractice? Hi, come on in. I'm Gerry Oginski, a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial attorney. And the answer to that question typically is when the surgeon fails to recognize the injury at the time of surgery. And in fact, doctors and their attorneys like to use the phrase that the injury is a known, recognized risk of the procedure. What does that mean? It's a common defense that defense lawyers use to try and get their doctor off the hook. It is the failure to recognize that injury at the time that can be deadly. And that's where most of these types of cases wind up. It is the failure to recognize the injury rather than the actual happening of the injury itself. So why do I tell you this? I tell you this because you might have questions about you or your loved one who had a surgical misadventure. Now, let me give you a perfect example. A patient goes in for a colonoscopy, and during the course of the procedure, the doctor who's performing it fails to recognize that he has now made a perforation, a hole in the bowel. And why is that significant? It's significant because the patient then goes home believing that everything is fine, despite the fact that she still has pain and pressure within her belly. The doctor tells her, don't worry about it, that's normal because of the air that we introduce into the colon during the colonoscopy. Not a problem. Well, over the next day and a half, the patient's pain continues to get worse and worse, and even during a phone call the following evening with the doctor, and the patient telling the doctor, hey, doctor, I still have pain in my belly. The doctor failed to bring her back in. What wound up happening is that the next morning, she was dead. And an autopsy confirmed that there was a perforation made at the time of the colonoscopy. And as a result of that, the bowel contents leaked out into her belly, and she suffered a massive infection throughout her body known as sepsis. That was a valid case. Why? Because the doctor failed to recognize exactly what injury had occurred. So why do you need to know this information? Because if you or somebody in your family has suffered a surgical misadventure, suffered an injury as a result of a surgical procedure, and you think you might have a valid basis for a case, what I want you to do is to pick up the phone and call me and ask. I answer questions like these every single day. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at lawmed10@yahoo.com. By the way, if you have comments, what I want you to do is leave them below if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, and while you're doing that, press the like button below so that all of your friends on Facebook and YouTube can get the benefit of the same exact information that you just received. I'm Gerry Oginski here in New York. Thanks for watching.